Hey guys, you may have seen my recent video where I triaged a couple Admiral 19812 sets, a little 7-inch bakelite Admiral sets, and one chassis was extremely rough. I salvaged what I could and got rid of the rest. Both cabinets are good though, but the speakers are shot on both of them. So what I want to attempt to do is get the remains of the speaker frame and grill cloth out of there. Now they're held in by Tinnerman nuts, speed nuts, and that's going to be the focus of this video. So what are they? Well, you're looking at 4 of them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are spring steel that's curved a little bit with a hole in the middle and then prongs, and you push it on, those prongs bite into the post, and if you try to pull it off, they bite in even harder. They're not easy to get off. That's something the vintage radio restorers have been dealing with for a long time. And I check periodically to see if and I see people ask it, to see if there's a better way, if anybody has a great tool or technique to get them off. I've talked about this before, I've done it before. Sometimes I've damaged them because they just they're tough to get off, especially in bakelite. So these posts are molded right into the cabinet, and the material's fragile to begin with. So there's a few ways to do it. One is, well, there's a mythical tool that GC Electronics made. I can't even find a good photo of it, but it was, imagine some kind of plunger type device you could fit over the shaft, and it had corresponding teeth in it that would hook into those teeth, and you'd push or pull on something and it would pry the teeth out and release it. I find it odd that these fasteners are still made. You can get them from Granger and lots of other places, but nobody seems to make that tool. So I guess they're just meant for inexpensive. You push it on, you forget about it, and oh well if you ever have to get one off. You know, as far as what a restorer's been doing, a lot of things. I say use a Dremel tool, the cut-off wheel, and cut them off carefully. Use some type of dental picks or small prying tools or small flat-bladed screwdrivers and pry them up carefully. Sure, and I've tried all those methods too with generally success, but I've also damaged some posts. So I was hunting around again and came across a number of sets of tools that are meant for cars, because cars, I think the primary use of these fasteners these days to hold down like upholstery or interior plastic, fabric, whatever, just cheap and expensive things. So I bought a set of tools. Now, I didn't investigate that closely, so I could tell immediately when I opened this up that we got a few problems with these tools. The ones that I thought might be the most promising, the smaller ones, the pry bars, they're plastic, I think. It's tough plastic to be sure, but I think these are going to break if I try using them. But we can give it a try. So they're like mini crowbars. Imagine you get this under your fastener, under those teeth, and you pry it up. Now I think this would work great. It's just too big, and I don't think it's strong enough. And something like this I could really see working where it's curved, so you'd get a lot of upward pressure on just those bits. Like you'd get it down in there, and you'd hook on it just underneath those teeth and bend up and pry them out of the way. But this is plastic. That is stiff, strong steel. It's not going to do it. But some of these tools are steel. For example, this guy, again, looks very promising. I think it's just too big for this size nut. I can try it on this one. I shouldn't say it's too small. It's actually the cutout, the notch, is perfect size for this post. But these need to be a lot smaller to fit into. Like if I just put this under the whole thing and then pry it up, yeah, that would, but it would bust that post off. So that's the kind of idea. So, like maybe you could take this and grind it down to make these. They would need to be much thinner. like just a fraction of the size they currently are. And this I found the most intriguing. This is kind of what I imagine, you know, some variation of that tool, where it's two pieces, and this gives you the leverage, and you put it under there, and then this gets into those teeth, and you can push down and pop the thing off. But again, a little bit too big for this. But not by a lot. In particular, these, I think they're an okay size, but they need to be closer together. Like if you could bend these in and maybe file them down a little bit. And then finally this guy, which, yeah, same old story. I think it would work great if it was smaller. Now, if I just want to get these off and didn't care about busting the post, yeah, I could get this under there and I could just push down and pop. Alright, so I don't think I can use any of those as they are, but I still want to get this off, so what are we going to do? Alright, one, let's get a little bit better lighting down in there. I think we should go after this guy first because it's easiest to get at. So, one thing I can try doing, it's going to be a little rough on my tool, but this one's pretty worn out, so I'm not, if it breaks I got a new pair in the waiting. But these are the side cutters I use for everything whenever I'm cutting off old component leads, cutting wire, that kind of thing. So this I could get down in here and pry it up if I can get it hooked on there. Wow, okay. They don't usually come off that easily. I got very, very lucky, but hey, now we can take a closer look at it. So, wow, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, makes me wonder, maybe somebody already was in here. Is you want to get under these pointy bits and bend them up. Yeah, you know, this is thinner metal than they sometimes use. These are actually pretty darn flimsy. I can almost bend this with my hands. So, alright, that's one down. So, there's a way to do it. If these were thicker, these were stronger, you do have a good chance of busting off a tip on your tool, especially if they're cheap side cutters. I also have a pair of needle nose around here somewhere, which is another tool that could be pretty handy for this. And here they are. That was the easiest one to get at, that's why I started with that. Let's try doing this guy next. Make sure I get it on frame for you guys. The one that's going to be the toughest to get at is the one that's back in this corner because I don't have good access to it, but let's get after this guy next. So let's go to the one that's easiest to get at and pry up. Dang, alright. 2 down. Huh. Yeah, boy, these... Well, we got lucky. We got lucky. These are flimsy ones, so yeah, I wouldn't even try using Dremel tools or anything on these. Alright, so now when I want to go to put a new speaker back in, what am I going to do? What am I going to use? Like, what's a better thing to use? Well, that's the problem, because these are posts. They're not threaded or anything, so you can't put a nut and washer on there to hold it down. Yeah, you could thread it, I suppose. It's bakelite, so you can't, like, heat it up or anything. And, like, if it was plastic, you heat it up slightly and then kind of push a nut onto it. You could glue something onto it, or you could, well, just use these again, which may be what I end up doing. We'll see. As I said, they still make them. So that's 2. Now this one is tricky because it got rotated. So it's at an awkward angle where I can't get in from the one side because of the cabinet. I can't get in from the other side because of the speaker. If there's some slack, I might be able... it's biting into the speaker frame pretty good, so I can't really rotate it. So let's get after the one that I can kind of get at. Oh yeah, I'm not using the side cutters because, well, I'm going to try, but I don't think I can get it. I think, oh, I can't. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Not that prong up, but there's one on the other side that's held on there pretty darn strong too. And I can't. So there's 4 prongs total. I got bent one of them up, but I can't get easily at any of the others. Maybe if I bend this one up enough, I can get at the one that's on the other side. Just broke it off. It doesn't help that I have a curious dog jumping all over me. Boy. Let's try and get back with the needle nose. Alright, now let's try another popular tool, which is just a small flat-bladed jeweler screwdriver that you can get underneath and pry up ideally. That's not a sound you want to hear, but in that case it's alright. Once it's loose, you can kind of unscrew it, but you will gouge up the post. So I'm trying to avoid that. I can rotate it a bit down. Switch back to needle nose. And let's get this pried up. I think we got it. Oh, so close. There we go. Alright. 3 down, 1 more to go. Figured it was going to be the hardest. Let's try that screwdriver. Just get in on this side. And there we go. Whew. Alright. Well, let's see how disgusting the speaker is. Actually, not too bad, but yeah, I think we need a slight reconing on it. Yeah, it's a bit, oh yeah, more than a bit rusty. Yeah, I don't think I'll be salvaging this. I suppose I'll salvage the connector, but the speaker is no more. So, that's it for now. Love to hear your tips, tricks, suggestions about how to get these off. In the end, yeah, all 3 of these were effective depending on the angle and the situation. One issue with using something like this is because the backing on this is cardboard. I was trying not to do this because it would gouge this. Of course, in this case, this is so bad, I'm really not going to be reusing it, but if you wanted to, just that's a real challenge here. It's not just to get them off, it's to get them off without damaging anything. But yeah, and unfortunately, none of these tools will work on this particular set because they're just all too big. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.